What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Whole Lotta Jesus podcast. I'm your host, Carley Rains. Happy Easter. I'm recording this on Good Friday, so I'm literally recording this the day before it comes out. I usually try not to do that, but this week has been a little crazy. We have a race tomorrow, which I am running, but I also have had work stuff to do for that. Texas Outlaw has been expanding. It's just been a lot that we're getting ready for, and it is super exciting. But I still want to be intentional with this podcast, and I do apologize if you can hear Briley. She is tired and kind of falling asleep. So I do want to still be intentional with this podcast and everything that I am pouring in and giving y'all. I have truly loved it. Last year was our first year. This year's our second year. We've kind of changed a little bit of the content, but it's still going, and I still feel really led from the Lord to be active in it and to still pursue this. And so we're going to. Now, if you've been a part of this series, it is Financial Literacy Month, which is just a fancy word for personal finance. We celebrate the learning and growing of personal finance. But like I said, it is the celebration of, get down. It is the celebration of personal finance. And actually, what I've heard within current events and state laws, legislation, is that there's quite a bit of states that are actually passing laws to require personal finance in high school, which is so awesome. And I do think that is very necessary. So I'm not sure about Texas, but I know California just passed a law. So it's not every state, but it is growing. And this is so important because a lot of people actually make mistakes, not because they intended to. They just, out of ignorance, did not know and was doing whatever they were told or scammed or whatever they thought, whatever their parents did. And it kind of creates this cycle. And so I think people are realizing that had we have learned about personal finance sooner, we might not have made as many mistakes as we have as a country and a culture and just people in general. And this is especially important when we talk about the Lord and Christianity and our relationship with the Lord. It goes back to stewardship and just being really wise and good stewards with our money and with our finances, so that we can build and advance God's kingdom, spread the gospel, do the Great Commission, just not be bound by worldly consumption, but be on mission for eternal and kingdom missions that we have. So today is a fun episode. We've been talking for this series. I'm doing a series From Student to Graduate, the Debt-Free Way. And it is just an awesome testimony that the Lord has just provided for Bristol and I's finances when it comes to student going to higher education and being a student in college. And I think that there is this lie that in order for you to be successful, have a great college experience, do all of that, I feel like this lie is presented that student loans aren't a big deal, that it is to help you advance and move forward and get where you want and need to be in order to be successful. And sadly, from experience with my relationship with the Lord and also through going to school, I have learned that you can do it the debt-free way, and it is so rewarding doing it the debt-free way, or not. And you really have that choice. And, I've learned, and I am learning that debt, and I want you to know this, debt is not a sin. So when we talk about, what the Bible says about debt, God does not like debt at all. Okay, guys? And he's very clear about his perspective and his opinion on debt. And it's not a good one. But that doesn't mean that if we have debt that we're necessarily living in sin. We're just being unwise. And as Proverbs says, it's a very foolish thing to live by. So with talking about student loans and higher education, I wanted to do an episode to really kind of play a game and talk about what are the essentials when going to college. Like, what do you absolutely need? And then what are things that are kind of like, oh, this is a maybe, like if I have the money and if I just want it, I can have it. And then what are things that we just really don't need, like that are non-essentials? You really don't need them to go to school. I know it's advertised like it would make your life at college so much grander, but it is not a necessity. So we're going to have these 3 categories. And like I said, the first one, we're going to go through all different types of items, from your dorm room to your classroom supplies to just different things across the board of what has been advertised for you to take to college. And the first category is a necessity. It is a need. Like, I need this in order for me to successfully graduate and advance in college and in higher education. So it's a need. The second category is a maybe. It's like, it's more so a want. Like, this would be nice to have and it provides convenience or whatever the case may be, but it's not a need. I don't absolutely need it. And then the third category is, this just is not a need at all. Like, absolutely not a need. I don't need this at all. Maybe you want it, but personally, this third category is just things that you can live without and do without, and you really don't need them. Okay. So we're going to go through, and we're going to start with our dorm room, because this is a big one where you will spend the majority of your time in your dorm. Well, I guess it depends. You sleep there, you might hang out there, you might do homework there, things like that. So this is our dorm room things. It involves, your organization and your storage of things and things like that. So I will say, when it comes to dorm room items, usually a dorm will provide a bed, it will provide a desk, and it might provide like a dresser or some type of wardrobe and closet and things like that. So that is in a dorm room, and those are like the essentials. Now, it might provide other stuff like a nightstand or whatever, but usually those are like the bare bone essentials that you need in order to live in there comfortably. So we're not going to talk about those, but when it comes to an apartment, which is something that you move into, now our apartments on campus were fully furnished. We didn't have to furnish them. We just brought in our sheets and different stuff. They had the couch and the coffee table and beds and dressers and everything like that. They had the furniture. But we are going to touch on, if you want to decide to live off campus, what that looks like, what's a need, what's a want, what's not a need, and what are my options. So let's dive into this. The first thing is a bedside lamp. So I am going to really put this in the category of a maybe. I'm going to put this in a desk lamp together. These, usually your room will have an overhead light. So really, guys, you don't need it. Now, if your room doesn't have an overhead light, I understand why you would need a lamp, because that's how you're going to see at nighttime. But if your room has an overhead light, having a lamp is better, lighting and all of that. It adds more to it and it makes it cute, but it is not a need. So I'm going to put a desk lamp and a bedside table lamp into category number 2. I think that this is you can go the cheap way. This is you can buy a cheap lamp, but it's going in category 2. The next thing is mini trash cans. Okay, I'm still going to put this in category 2, only because you will have trash. So having a trash can is a necessity, but honestly, y'all, you could use a Walmart sack, because that's what you're going to put in a mini trash can, is you're going to put a Walmart sack in it to fill it and then take it out. Well, you really don't need the trash can. You could put the Walmart sack on the back of your desk chair or on your dresser, like hanging on the little knob that opens your dresser, or hanging on your closet door, and then put stuff in there that way. Yes, aesthetically, would it look nicer with mini trash cans? Yes, which is why I'm putting it in category 2. So it's a big want, but at the end of the day, it's not necessarily a necessity. Storage bins. Now, it says, it doesn't specify storage bins, but you will need some type of storage. So I'm going to put this as number 1, a necessity, because you will need some type of storage to help you move in and out every semester. I found girls who literally just stuffed their car with their stuff. For me, some of it was going in a storage unit and then some of it wasn't. So I didn't like just like throwing stuff in the storage unit. It also is going to save you time and you get to organize it. So I'm picking it as number 1. Your storage bins that you use to move in and out of your dorm or your apartment is an essential. Now let's see, a fan. Okay, so a fan is really number 2. If your room does not have a fan at all, like a ceiling fan, yeah, you're probably going to want a little fan. And you can buy one of those little fans. It doesn't have to be fancy. I literally had one of those little fans that I set on my nightstand and used it at night because my dorm had AC, but it didn't have an overhead fan. Okay, drying rack for laundry. I don't even know, no. That is a category 3. That is not a necessity. Okay, you can use a section of your closet to hang your clothes that you need to dry that you can't put in the dryer. You can get creative. You can use your dresser drawer, little knob drawers, and hang them on there. You can use them the back of your desk chair. I'm sure you can figure out a way to hang it on your bed. Like, it is not a necessity. So don't even. A bulletin board and push pins. That is not a necessity. I'm putting that in category 3. You do not need that. I mean, I know you want to make your room all cute and glamorous and things like that, but at the end of the day, it's like, am I going to use this money towards a necessity, paying for my bill, paying for food, things like that, or I'm going to use it towards bulletin boards and push pins that's probably going to break at the end of my college career. You know, like, it just doesn't make sense. Now, dry erase wall, calendar / board. This is category 3. You do not need this. I do think, and you know what, guys? We have our phones. So, like, really at the end of the day, you can just use your phone calendar to put in your classes and when assignments are due and things like that. When you got events going on, just put it in your phone calendar. That is literally free. Now, I understand. I'm a person who likes to write things down. I like a physical thing that I can flip through and look at. I don't like using my phone at all. But again, what is the goal? Every single item that you're going through and deciding, do I need to buy this? Do I not need to buy this? I think it always goes back to your goals. Like, is this going to help me advance forward, or is this just a waste of time and a waste of my money? And a bulletin board and a dry erase wall, waste of your time, waste of your money. Save that $10. You might need it for laundry or something else. A mini toolkit including screwdriver, hammer, and wrench. I think that is a number 2. Maybe. I had that and it was nice whenever I needed it, but I literally used it like twice. So I don't know, if you could find like a dude or something, but I will say from dorm living, and I'm sure this is this way in the apartments, but from living in a dorm all 4 years, anytime I had an issue with anything in my room, I just contacted the RD or my RA and they just took care of it. So, mini toolkit is nice, but at the end of the day, it's not a number 1. It's number 2. Picture hangers. So, yeah, I think that's a number 2. I think you can find really cheap. My mom found really cheap frames from, I think, like, somewhere super cheap, and they worked great for our shower. And so you do not have to go to Ashley Furniture and buy a brand new picture frame. You can literally go to the consignment shop or Goodwill or things like that and I'm sure you can find a ton of them. So we're gonna move on to college, like laundry supplies and things like that. The next one is sheets and pillows, 2 sets. Okay, sheets and pillows, duh. That is a number 1. You need that. But 2 sets, you don't have to have 2 sets. You can have 1 set. You're going to have to do laundry quite a bit. And every single time you do it, you're going to have to make your bed and put your sheets on because you don't have another pair for that night. But, so sheets and pillows are a number 1. But 2 sets is not a number 1. Towels, duh. You're going to need a couple of big towels, a couple of face wash towels, and a couple of little rag towels. So that is a number 1. Pillows. Okay. Pillows. Y'all hear that at the end? Not your pillow, your pillows. Okay? This is not a necessity. This is a number 2 category. Yes, you need your one pillow, which you can get that with your sheets. But having all of these pillows, yeah, that's a bonus. It looks nice when you have someone over and they come in, but it's not a necessity. That's a number 2. Let's see. So one thing that is a number 2 is your mattress topper. It's this foam material that makes the mattress more comfy. And I will say, in the newer dorms, I don't know from other, universities, but our university, when they got new mattresses, they were literally hard as a rock, y'all. They were so hard. So I literally, we had Leadership Academy, which was the summer event where freshmen come in to meet. They just hang out, have different activities, and then they meet like us, like the team people or whatever. And those beds literally were so hard that I went and got my mattress topper from my room and brought it to where I was staying for this camp. I mean, it was just crazy. You need laundry detergent. I think you need a laundry bag. You can use a trash bag. I literally, when our clothes are overflowing and needing wash, I will use trash bags to help transport. Because that's the thing, guys. Usually in a dorm setting or even in an apartment setting, you might not have a washer and dryer. You might have to travel to a certain area on the property to wash your clothes and dry them. But, so I think a laundry basket is very important. That is a necessity. A lint brush. Ladies, this is a necessity. And I'm going to put this in category 2, actually, because you don't absolutely need it. There are other ways to get rid of lint aside from a lint brush. But in case of an emergency or whatever, I'm putting in category 2 because it would just be really nice to have. A mini sewing kit. Now, my grandma gave me this when I went to school, and honestly, I think I used it like maybe one time, but I never used it. So I don't think the sewing kit is a number 1, but I'm not going to push it back to all the way to a number 3 because I do think a lot of good can come out of it and having it around other young Christians. It's if you need it, if you need something, it's just quick to do. So the next category we're going to do is desk supplies. Now, you're actually going to be probably pretty shocked at what I say about this, but the first thing on here is basically a computer. And something I want to say is the school that I went to, in the library and in every lobby of the dorm room, there were computers. So if someone didn't have a laptop or whatever the case may be, they could go and do their homework then in their dorm, but also in the library. And So a laptop is not a necessity. It is a number 2. It is a nice item to have, but laptops are not cheap. And if you're going back and forth between, do I buy a laptop or do I put this $1,000 towards school? I would put $1,000 towards school. See what your life is going to be like without that laptop. And if you can make it throughout the years, I mean, eventually you're going to have to buy one, but what I'm saying is if you can make it and graduate debt free, that's just giving you extra money to save for that laptop. So number 2, printer paper. So this is if you bring a printer. So a printer is not a necessity. I'm actually going to put a printer in number 3. It is not, it's a nice luxury want, but I'm going to be honest, y'all, you have a lot of expenses when it comes to paying for the printer. And you're already paying fees. So don't forget this. So your school already puts in fees for your printing. So when you go to the library and you use your account to print something, guess what? You're already paying for that. That's already on your bill. But you buy a printer and you do all your printing on there. Not only are you paying fees for something that you're not using, but you're also having to buy ink and paper and maintenance the printer and all of that stuff. So a printer goes in category 3. It is not a necessity at all. You have a school for that. Every probably professor in their office has a printer. So if you're going somewhere and you're like, hey, I need to print this off, you can literally go into one of the professor's classrooms and ask them to print it off, and bam, you got it. So these are kind of like school supplies, like pencils, paper, notebooks, folders with pockets, labels of various sizes, index cards, sticky notes, paper clips, binder clips, things like that. And I love sticky notes, so there might be some things that you gravitate towards and you like the aesthetic of it and you really enjoy it. But I'm going to be honest, most of the time when you go to college, you don't really figure out what you need for class until after the first day of school. So please do not do what I did. And whenever I was entering college, I went to Walmart and I bought a notebook and a folder I think it was a binder, like for every single class. And then we started class and I did a lot of graphic design things and things. So you're not even using like the folder or the notebook. Okay. Some classes I did use it for, but like those classes, no, I'm learning online. I'm doing that online. So I would just wait. I'm going to put all of that in 2 because it is nice to have, but it's not a necessity. You don't if you have electronic, guess what? You have a notebook on your electronic, on your laptop. So, those things are not necessities. Index cards, the color index cards. Those are not necessities either. You can literally make your own out of paper. You just cut it up, write on it, cut it up. I mean, it's pretty much that easy. Rubber bands, tapes, scissors, a ruler, things like that. Those are category 2. They're not a necessity, but they're nice to have. Okay? Highlighter pens in multiple colors. I'm going to vouch for these highlighter pens, y'all. I think that they're a number 1. I think that they're in category 1. And the reason I think they're in category 1 is because you're more likely to remember something when you have high emotion with it, and your memory is tied to emotion. So if I am studying for a test and I have a highlighter pen and it's a bright pink or a bright yellow or a bright orange or something, and I recognize and I see it, you're more likely to remember it because it pops out on the page. It deals with emotion, things like that. Stamps and envelopes, those are category 1. They're just a basic thing that you should have throughout your life. Extra print cartridges and note cards or stationery, no. You don't need extra print cartridge, or however you say that. Okay? You don't need that. You have a printer in your school's library. Use it to your advantage. So then we're going to get into electronic and technology for first-year students. And let me be honest, most of the time when you're a first-year student going to college, you're going to overpack so much because you think, oh my gosh, I'm going to need this. I got to buy this for XYZ reason, And then you get to college and you get it all out and get it all ready to go. And then you realize, oh my gosh, it's midterm. I haven't even used it once. Oh my gosh, we only got 9 weeks left. What are you talking about? You don't even use it. And every year I went to school, my items got less and less and less and less and less. So electronics and technology for first year students. We already went over a laptop. A laptop is not necessarily a essential. I would really ask your school that you're going to, do y'all supply, able for us to use laptops in the library, in our dorm room? Are there places for us to do homework there? And really tell them, I'm paying for this school or whatever, and things like that. Portable speakers, number 3. That is number 3. You do not need a speaker. You got your phone. You probably got headphones with your phone. It's good enough. HDMI cord for the computer. I have actually used mine quite a bit. I'm going to put that in category 2. An HDMI cord is great when you're presenting to a class. You'll just hook your laptop up, present to the class. The class can see it on the big white board screen, everything like that. A surge protector. That is a great thing to have. Is it a necessity? No. Extension cords. Those are also great things to have. Are they necessities? No. MP3 player. This is kind of an older article. So, our electronics, headphones. I do think headphones are, I'm going to put them in category number 1. Headphones are nice to have especially when you're going through things in your mind, like studying for a test in your mind or whatever, and the people around you are being so loud, just put your headphones in. A camera, a cell phone, and charging cords. Charging cords are necessities. So I'm going to give that a number 1. Your cell phone and your camera, that's, you have that with you all the time, so I don't even know why that's on here. Okay, so you and your roommate are going to share things. So someone's probably going to bring the fridge, someone's probably going to bring the microwave, everything like that. A huge goal that I want to encourage you with is to try, when you're shopping for those things, the microwave, the fridge, even furniture for an apartment, go to nice consignment shops. Goodwill, Plato's Closet. They are gently used. Now, you're probably going to have to wash whatever it is, but a brand new microwave and a brand new mini fridge are not necessities. Okay? Brand new is out in category 3. It's not a necessity. But a microwave and a fridge might be. And so guess what? You can go and buy a used one that works perfectly and then rotate it within the years. This is funny. A coffee maker, a hot pot, things like that. So, a coffee maker. Some of y'all are going to be like, a coffee maker is a necessity. I will put that one in category 2. It's a nice thing to have. But I actually had a friend, one of my bridesmaids, Karen, a best friend from college. She and her and my other friend, Carley, they lived in a 2-bedroom apartment together. And every morning before morning practice, because we were all in athletics together, Karen would make coffee. And she did not have a coffee maker. Y'all know how she made it? She literally took a pot and boiled it and put the little coffee things in there. And that's how she made her coffee. And I thought it was so creative of her to do that. So, an area rug. Not a necessity. Okay? Well, is it going to make your room look nicer? Yes, it is. But that is not a necessity. You don't need it in order to do good in college. You just need to work hard. It has nothing to do with having a rug. Posters and art. Not a necessity. Okay? So we're going to get into some medicine and your beauty products. What are necessities is like aspirin can be a necessity. Advil can be a necessity. And Tylenol can be a necessity. You kind of need a small selection of medicine to, in case something happens and it's the weekend or whatever the case may be, take that. But I say that with a huge but, because our school actually allowed students to come and meet our nurse, whoever you want to call her, and they could give medicine and different things like that. So your school does provide it, and will provide it, and you're probably paying a fee for them. So use them to your advantage. So a bunch of like cough drops and your shampoo, all your shower stuff is a necessity. Okay. So you can take all of that, but like, cough drops and things like that. Yeah, it's good to have. I'm not going to lie. I will put a cough drop as a necessity. Toothpaste, toothbrush is a necessity, everything, hair styling products are a necessity. Everything to beautify yourself can be a necessity, but don't take like forever to get ready. But you do need them. Like, you don't want to stink at college, okay? Let's see. Yeah, that's all that. So, clothing. What do I wear? Well, it depends, number 1, on where your school is at. Do I take all my clothes? Do I not take all my clothes? Your clothes are you're gonna change your style, probably. That's what happened to me when I was in college. But really, you just need the basics. And if you go home quite a bit, I mean, you can bring clothes back every single time you go home. But you just need, like, some t-shirts, some, you can minimalize it very much so. Okay, so household and kitchen items, this is where we're kind of getting into apartments and things like that. Like I said, you can find really good stuff at consignment shops for apartments. And I would do that because why are you going to spend all that money buying new furniture for an apartment that you might trash? I hate to be honest, but you are in college. Like, you're probably not going to take the best care of it. And so I would just encourage you. I know you want it to match, and I know you want it to look good and everything like that. But again, what is the goal? Is the goal to make my dorm room apartment just so cute and the best thing ever? Or is my goal actually to graduate and take my diploma and do something with it? I would think it would be the second option. So, a lot of this stuff on here, if you are staying on campus, your on-campus, like, workmen will take care of it. But if you're living off campus, guess what? You got to buy toilet paper, and you got to clean the house, and you got to fix the light bulbs, and you got to... It's a lot that you have to do. And so, just keep that in mind. Okay. Some miscellaneous items. An umbrella. Now, an umbrella is going to depend on where you live and how much it rains there. I went to high school in West Texas where it literally never rains. So for 4 years of my life, I basically saw rain a minimal amount of times. And then I decided to pick everything up and go across the state into Arkansas, a very foresty area. And I remember my first year, every single time it rained, my feet were soaked. Like, I was like, I have to get some like rain boots, and I have to get an umbrella, and I have to get that stuff just because it rains so much. So look at where your college is and how much it usually rains there in a year. But it's good to have an umbrella. A backpack. Now, you're like, oh, I'm going to college. I got to get a new backpack. Got to get my monogram. Got to get all of this. I'm putting that in category 2 because a backpack can be a necessity based on a new necessity. But if your backpack from high school or whatever is in really good shape, why are you not just using that? I mean, for your birthday or something, ask for a new backpack. But, like, again, what is the goal? The goal is to pay for school in cash. It says sports equipment or backup pair of eyeglasses. Briston, boys, backup pair of eyeglasses is a necessity for boys. For girls, you can do without. But I think I covered it all. Basically, guys, the question is, like, do I actually need this for my survival? Do I want this and enjoy this? And then, what can I live without? Like, what can I do without? And so this is just to help you, like, go through your stuff, and especially if you're going to go shopping this summer for your dorm room stuff, and really sit down and ask your roommate or ask whoever you're living with, or ask, whatever the case may be. I want you to ask, and because again, the goal here is to do it debt free. And the way we do it debt free is we have to lower our expenses so that we can throw more money at the school. We either lower our expenses or we lower how much we're invested in school. And I think the Lord has really put Briston, for instance, higher education on his heart to continue and do that. So if you feel like the Lord's wanting you to pursue school full time or whatever the case may be, but you still have things that you want that are hindering you from paying for it in cash, please surrender those things, because it's going to go one of two ways. Either you're going to love the Lord and follow him, or you're going to love your own desires and follow them. So these are just some things. Do I need this? Do I not need this? I don't think I covered everything at all. The last thing I'm going to say, though, is, it didn't really talk about this, but your books. for college. Like, what do I do with my books? Do I rent? Do I buy? Do I find an external seller and buy them from there? I always rented my books, and I always rented them from the school. Now, here's why. I always rented them from the school. Number one, I had a scholarship that was specifically for books. And so in order for me to get that money and pay for my books, I had to do that through them. So, yeah, for your books, you can buy, you can rent, or you can find them off of Amazon or whatever. And I always rented, and then at the end of the semester, I would take them back, and you can highlight and write in them and all this stuff. But this is the thing, guys. If you're like, well, what if I want to buy it? What if I want to buy it and I only rent it? Well, one thing our school offered, and I hope all schools offer this, is that if you're renting it and at the end of the year you want to buy it back, you'll buy it for a discounted price. And so there are 3 books that I ended up buying after renting them. But I don't think there should be any reason for you to, unless you're like, I don't know. I don't think that there should be any reason for you to buy books. I think the most logical and financial way is to rent them. So keep that in mind. Don't let people fool you in saying, whatever it is that they say. Like, be mindful of that. So I want you now to go through your stuff as you prepare for college and realize, is this a necessity? Is this not a necessity? What do I need? I want you to get your needs first and then start getting your wants if you have leftover money. So I hope you enjoy this episode. Next week, we're going to be talking about how parents can help, prepare for college and what they can do on their end so that the student doesn't have the full responsibility to take on a big decision in their life. So I hope y'all enjoy it, and I will see y'all on the next episode.